Skyscrapers started in large cities like New York, Chicago, and London in the 19th century. The growth in the population made the cities have to build upward. A city could not run out of space because of the population growth. This was a serious problem because the city was facing urban sprawl. People would use great amounts of resources. People were running out of space to live. The people who influenced the innovation of skyscrapers were Englishman Henry Bessemer, invented the first process for mass-producing steel for the structure of skyscrapers. George Fuller was an architect that made many useful designs to this innovation. He built the Tacoma building in 1989, the first structure ever built where the outside walls did not carry the weight of the building. Some of the problems people faced when creating a structure was to provide things like electricity, running water, and heating and other useful products to the rooms. Health issues were also a problem encountered during this process. The fundamental need to develop this innovation was to find a better way to use land. The early skyscrapers were a range of tall commercial buildings between 1884 and 1939, predominantly in the American cities of New York and Chicago. Cities in the United States were traditionally made up of low-rise buildings, but significant economic growth after the Civil War and increasingly intensive use of urban land encouraged the development of taller buildings, beginning in the 1970s. Skyscrapers provide habitable space for living, offices, and better use of land. The modern world could not have adopted skyscrapers if a steel and concrete structure hadn't been available. The buildings in the 18th and 19th century used the steel and concrete structure. Elisha Otis invented the safety elevator. He revolutionized the safety of skyscrapers and buildings. The main structure that skyscrapers have is having a steel framework from which curtain walls are suspended, rather than load-bearing walls of conventional construction. According to Javier Roig, an architect, the best structures used to build skyscrapers is steel and concrete. Henry Bessemer helped the development of concrete and steel by mass producing. Lastly, these city dwellers believe in a set of values that allowed them to continue to enjoy the urban lifestyle. The most important value that led to the adopting of skyscrapers was economic power. Skyscrapers are a symbol of a city's power and money. They would save money by giving the building multiple uses. Skyscrapers are a common sight where land is expensive, as a target for tourists and the centers of cities. Skyscrapers provide lots of rentable area. They also provide restaurants, cinemas, hotels, and shopping centers, like Costanera Center. They are not built just for economy of space. Skyscrapers are considered a symbol of the city's economic power, not just to define the skyline, they help to define the city's identity. In some cases, exceptionally tall skyscrapers have been built not out of necessity, but to help define the city's identity and presence of or power as a city. This is the bibliography of the research and the pictures. These were the needs, resources, and values used to adopt this innovation to modern society.